Okay, to review and prioritize the information. I believe the decision could be damaging to stakeholders, but we do not have enough information to know the impact. Some variables include Mrs. Stevens' impact on the community, and the impact she has on stakeholders as well. I would like to learn more about what Mrs. Stevens' situation before I would feel comfortable making a final decision. We don't know how long she's been there. We don't know if she lives in the community, especially in a small town like myself. I don't know what kind of town she lives in. A small town like myself, if you live in the community as a teacher, you can make a very large impact. And if you have the turnover rate that we do as far as principals go, then that teacher could be largely influence these stakeholders more than the principal does. We don't know those sort of situations based on this, what the case study gave us. So one thing I would also think about is the impact, like I said, if teachers do not see principal doing all on school personnel, if teachers do not see a principal doing all they can to help struggling teachers and not rehiring her, I believe this could have a largely negative effect on teachers' morals, and viewpoints of the principal. If a viewpoint is changed in the eye of a teacher, then it takes a long time to change it back. It's kind of like that trust thing. And this could directly impact the school atmosphere. And this is a huge thing that could be damaging to kids' learning as well. I've taught in a very negative school atmosphere where teachers are kind of bickering and it's just a gossip central, and this definitely could influence the school, how people act towards each other, and in return hurting the community, stakeholders, and the children, mostly. So, identifying our options and possible consequences. So option one, I continue my decision of sending in my review to not renew Mrs. Stevens. Option two, I change my decision to renew her license and avoid confrontation. Option three, I change my decision to keep Mrs. Stevens and set up a detailed improvement process that includes data design, implementation, and evaluation. Possible consequences. So there's a picture right there. What am I going to follow? So option one, Ms. Stevens takes this to court. I do not have enough documentation to back up my side. This lose other teacher confidence in the fact that I went after her without giving her proper any help. This also puts the district at risk to lose a lot of money. And for other ways, you just don't want that negative stigma put onto your district. Option two, lose credibility among staff, stakeholders, and district. Again, you don't know where they're coming from. You know where he is. You know where the principal's coming from, and you don't want to lose that and create like I said, gossip central of your school with what's going on. And if I'm willing to go back on my word like that quick, it kind of just sort of puts out that negative stigma to the rest of the people. Option three, relationships has already been irreversibly damaged, so she does not want to take any advice from the principal. She is still hostile, gets tenure, and they work together, negatively affecting the school community for many years. That'll probably be the biggest consequence of option three, because that directly involves the students. So evaluating my options. With option one, I don't need to read these because I kind of went over them. So some pros, I stick to my word. I possibly remove a poor teacher from classroom. And on the reverse of that, these cons, I could possibly remove a great teacher from the classroom. I just don't think I have enough evidence to be able to make that call. I lose credibility among staff. Again, going back to that negative atmosphere. Option two, the confrontation stops. No legality issues arise. Cons, I go back on my word. I lose credibility among staff because I went back on my word again. I possibly hurt student learning because she is staying in the classroom. I don't know if she's negative or a poor teacher. Option three, I utilize a teacher's background and intelligence to have another great teacher in my staff. That is a big pro because it did say that she had, once again, great background and she's very intelligent. So if I continue to work with her and improve her teaching, then and others in the school, not just myself, through peer observations and things of that nature, be able to utilize what she has and what she has to offer. Another pro, benefit teachers around her by peer reviews, observing in multiple classrooms. And some cons, keep a teacher that may hurt school atmosphere. That would be a con to keep her around. And students may suffer if teacher refuses to change her ways, if her ways are as negative as what the principal thinks. So to choose the best option, I choose option three. This is my best option because it is one of the limited action, and I have taken before decided to not rehire Ms. Stevens. I would like to put together a plan of action for her and with her. To the start being, I need to evaluate Ms. Stevens in a variety of ways with focus and clarity. I go back to what I was talking about with I don't know what she's done in the past. I don't know if she has, I don't know what I've done based on the case study. I don't know what I've done to lead up to the point of where I said I'm not going to renew her. All I know is we had a post-evaluation, but it seemed like a majority of those observations were based on sort of pop-ins. So only then can I start a plan of action and includes input from Mrs. Stevens herself. She needs to be an integral part for the duration of the improvement plan. She must use her understanding capacity to undertake and implement this work within our school setting. One of the hardest parts will be backtracking from actions that have already taken place by both parties. It will be difficult to get Ms. Stevens to lower her guard. It will start with me by building relationships of respect and to realize we are on the same page to help improve each other for the sake of the school, community, and the students involved. So to implementing my decision, there's the steps in that picture. Change evaluation, rehire to hire. I set up a meeting with Ms. Stevens to go over why I graded her the way that I did and get her input with superintendent present. The reason I want to get superintendent present because she threatened legal action. I want to make sure he's in the loop. I don't want him to be blindsided by this. Having a meaningful conversation with her while getting input on what our next step should be. I would suggest peer observation for this individual circumstance in order to establish more comfortability. After input from peer and Ms. Stevens, I would put together a plan of action with Ms. Stevens that is ongoing and focused. It would be a system for monitoring whether supervision and evaluation strategies promote improvement. Once again, missed my picture. Too much information on these slides. So, what may happen and who needs to know? I do not think anybody needs to know all the details other than myself, Ms. Stevens, and the superintendent. This sort of thing could turn into a gossip ring very quickly, and if it is not dealt with respect and integrity towards what has happened, I believe that I made a mistake doing this as a principal, and to backtrack, that's going to be very hard. But I do hope that her and I can find some level ground and work together to where I can kind of lower her guard. Dealing with the person involved. I believe that dealing with the person involved should be done by myself and the superintendent. I would not want to leave him in the dark with what has happened. But I do believe most of it needs to come from me and over a period of time to rebuild that relationship with Mrs. Stevens. The plan B, if this doesn't work, when implementing something like this, it is important to be forward. If it does not work, then I need to think, now what? I need to think now what if it fails. So if it does not work, then I would set up a plan for myself to check in on her every day just to make an effort of building that relationship. I would find things that are positive towards her teaching style while compiling as much data as I can to back up the future actions I may take in the future. I would also start to put her relationship rules for peer evaluation. Studies show the observers can get just as much improvement from an observation as the one that they are observing. She may have a lot to bring to the table.